Man Beis Hadin Elena Vaksha Toivlo Erev Shabbos, every day, particularly Erev Shabbos, we should give some extra tzedakah. So please join me, and as we say every day, tzedakah tatzil, tzedakah saves from all the calamities. Especially today in Eretz Yisrael, we need the extra tzedakah, we need the extra prayers that all of us pronounce anywhere in the world. Friends, this Shabbos is Shabbos Chayei. It is the Shabbos of the Kinus of Shluchim, the annual conference of all the Rebbe's Shluchim from around the world. Unfortunately, those who are from Eretz Yisrael couldn't come because they can't travel, because the Kinus is taking place in the Rebbe's home in 770 Eastern Parkway, the Rebbe's headquarters. So unfortunately, Israelis couldn't come. And one see the difference. We can actually feel the difference. But in honor of the Kinus of Shluchim, I want to read for you part of an article that Sophia Sarah Esther Tamarkin writes, and I think it's worth hearing. As she said, she was born in the former Soviet Union. Her family emigrated to the United States when she was 12 years old. A few years ago, she writes, my husband and I attended a winter festival in Quebec City and stayed in a famous ice hotel. I was mesmerized by the idea of a structure, including all the furniture inside, made completely out of ice. Wires were inserted inside translucent ice blocks, and each wall was illuminated by a mysterious and magnificent light. The beds were covered with animal skins, and each guest was provided with an insulated sleeping bag. I hope it was thick enough to make it comfortable on this ice. That was my own addition. And these were specifically designed for sub-zero temperatures. Yes, it's cold in the winter here in Quebec by us. What awed me the most is that each spring, the structure melts away and is rebuilt by craftsmen in the early winter. So this type of commitment to the task made an impact of my understanding of life. Building, allowing it to melt, and rebuilding. The next day, my husband and I decided to visit the local Chabad house, run by Rabbi David and the Voralei Lewin. Still reflecting on the night at the ice hotel, we were struck by the permanence this Chabad house represented. I was intensely aware of the brick walls, durable furniture, bookshelves with ancient text and a picture of the Rebbe. Rabbi David grew up in France, the Voralei grew up in Montreal, and later moved to New York, where she taught preschool. This is where the couple met. They say we were both educators hoping to share our love for Judaism. Together they went back to Nice and worked as youth directors, but then after 5 years of struggling with infertility, my husband and I, says the Voralei, decided to take on the challenge of becoming the Rebbe's Shluchim, emissaries, and we relocated to Quebec City. Miraculously, soon after, we were blessed with our first son. Being the only religious family in the city means that we have a constant responsibility to be a living example of what it means to be a Jew, said the Voralei. We take care of our little but very vibrant Jewish community that is scattered throughout the city. We also serve the students at the local university as part of Chabad on campus. We organize dinners and classes for students, creating a home away from home. With the help of Mikveh USA, we built a mikveh, and we are privileged to meet and serve the many wonderful people who visit Quebec City, said the Voralei. Sarah Esther continues, I often think back to that sleepless night when I realized that perhaps all structures in my world are temporary, like the ice hotel. I suddenly understood that change is the most consistent thing in our lives. When the Jews left Egypt, they wandered in the desert for 40 years, making a total of 42 stops until they reached the land of Israel. These stops were necessary to transition from slavery to freedom. Accepting impermanence allows us to focus on what is truly lasting, our values and our mission in the world. As the Voralei profoundly pointed out, yes, the ice hotel takes months and months for the craftsmen to design and build. This building and its fascinating artwork eventually melts away. But our home The Chabad house for the Jewish people is a permanent structure because of its mission. We are committed to bringing light and empowerment to the Jewish nation. This commitment creates an eternal legacy that doesn't melt away because it creates a permanent light. And Sarah Leah continues, I'm finally liberated from my fear of transition and look forward to the change tomorrow will bring. Because I know that while most things in the world are temporary, the wisdom of Torah and performing its mitzvahs is truly eternal and the most consistent thing in our lives, and we are arriving to see this permanent light of Mashiach. The story is about Shluchim in Quebec City,